This series is a little bit more unique. We've got the Timberwolves and the Mavs. We have the third seed Timberwolves going up against the fifth seed Dallas, but both teams proved on their path here that they don't need to win their home games to win the series. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I feel like you've got Kyrie and Luka being the better guards compared to Minnesota. I know Ant Edwards is good, but you've got two really strong guards against that. But then you have to give the nod to the front court of Rudy Gobert, Cat, and Naz Reid over what Dallas is producing in Gafford and Lively. And it'll be interesting to see how this series plays out because Dallas plays a little bit of a grind out style that is very iso ball heavy, very three heavy. And Minnesota obviously plays a very similar thing. So they match up similarly. But I'm going to ask you this question because I actually pulled it up. I'm the stat man now. They played each other 5 times in the season.
Yep.
What do you think the record was, and who was the team with the better record? What do you think?
I'm gonna say, let's say 3-2 T-Wolves.
4-1 T Wolves,
4-1. All right.
and any game that they won, it was usually by a margin of 10 or more,
Yep.
in the biggest case being about 40. And the one game that they dropped was by 7. So, not that the regular season is always going to capture what happens in the playoffs, but I think this is Minnesota's series to lose now. I think I made the comment last week. I said, I think like that was the conference finals matchup. That was the matchup that was going to dictate what happens in the NBA finals now. And I think Minnesota's got to go all the way. And from a Phoenix Suns perspective, if we lose to the champs, maybe we weren't that bad this season. People might have forgot about the sweep, but they just killed off the reigning champs, so maybe we weren't that bad.
You
But I'm
guys were
gonna say
bad,
it's
but that's another topic. So you're saying what? Denver in sorry, T-Wolves
no,
in T-Wolves in
Minnesota and 6. I
6. Okay.
switched my pick with them right at the end of our recording last week. Don't think you got it in the small video, but it was in the pod. Subscribe to the pod if you're not already subscribed.
I'm gonna
But yeah, I went 7.
I feel like you're a real T-Wolves, jump on the T-Wolves right now, and everyone's getting an Ant Edwards shirt, and Naz Reid and Gobert and Cat. Yeah, what a cool acronym for your name, man. Like, I wish we all could have a acronym like that, right? But it's I actually picked that the Mavs would play the Knicks. Obviously, Knicks are now eliminated. Yeah,
So on the
and
Mavs,
I think it's going to be an interesting series. Yeah, because and that's why an understatement. Yeah, obviously the conference finals. Yeah, of course it's going to be interesting but I'm saying it's going to be even more interesting because it's two different styles of play. Yeah, we've literally got look at if you think about this, you've got the T Wolves that have Ant Edwards, young, fast, uh, athletic. That's his style. Yeah, that's his calling card, right? Then he's surrounded by bigs that are defensive minded, some level of limitations in regards to, I guess, at least like speed, mobility, but their size is their key. Yeah, that's the key, right? Their size is their strength in the paint, and that's why they could double, triple team Jokic and really trouble him into that round. On the other hand, you got the Mavs here where they're built around obviously Luka and Kyrie in the backcourt, and Luka wants to slow it down, right? He's not super athletic. He's playing that whole different style. He wants to slow it down, play that half court sort of sense. But he's surrounded by bouncy, athletic, jumping bigs, watching BJ's watching this playing like the best he's ever played. Obviously, Derek Lively's become a rookie that's relevant in the playoffs right now, and then you got Derek Jones Jr. that's bounced around literally the league in that sense. But man, he's like playing again, balling right now. He should get some money hopefully next season. I think because I think he's on a minimum contract right now. Okay, it's a whole different ball game. And I think it's like, which one's going to play out here? And I'm going to stay with my pick here. I'm going to stay with my pick. So I'm saying Mavs. I'm saying Mavs. And I'm going to say 7. I feel like it's a good season here for the owners, right? They get the extra games and the extra revenue.
they
Good on them, right? It's a lot of money there, I think, to just add the extra game because your team doesn't sweep in 4 necessarily. I'm going to say
well, good
Luca
for the
again.
West.
I'm going to say Luca. I'm going to say Luca again is the key. Yeah, we spoke about Luca being the key against the Thunder here. This would have been a disappointing Luka moment if they had dropped it to this young Thunder team. All right, and ultimately the Thunder, that's another story. They didn't have enough sort of to get it done, and that's credit to them. They're going to be a top team for the many years to come here. Okay, and they just got to learn from this and make those steps. Yeah, but I guess the Mavs here are not necessarily that a young team. They're here to win, and I think Luka's not 100% again. I think but I think that This is another opportunity to stamp his authority that he will one day be the GOAT. Yeah, and that's something that I said a long time
Well,
ago now, feels like.
I think what's interesting when you look at the Western Conference teams, you're talking about two teams last season that were disappointing, but both had acquisitions that obviously required a bit more time to settle in. So both the Rudy Gobert trade and the Kyrie trade, I think I'm at least on record for saying that's terrible. What are you doing? And now those two teams are in the Western Conference Finals. So maybe we should stop putting expert in our takes because we're clearly not that switched on.
Non-expert.
Non-expert. Who would have thought?
No,
Two random guys.
IMO.
Oh,
Everything.
just who
Look,
would have thought?
look. You know what, Kyrie? Credit to Kyrie. All right, Kyrie has really slotted back into in a Robin role, into a Pippen role. You know,
Mm.
he did that with LeBron, and LeBron was an all-time talent. Yeah, LeBron is, well, by the time Luke is said and done, third on this list, no doubt, right? But that's another topic as well, all right? But Kyrie, credit to him, and maybe he's at that point of his career, has sort of got rid of his off court drama that was. I love the Brooklyn sort of noise, and he's just playing a perfect sidekick role now, and that's what Luka needed, just like what LeBron needed, in the Cavs back then.
Yeah, and obviously I was able to watch that game because that was on the weekend for me, and I got to watch the entire second half. And another game where the team is up by about 20 and they just blow the lead, but they blew the lead because they stopped hitting shots and Dallas just kept executing. And Kyrie hit some really tough shots, and that's probably the big difference maker in this team versus other Luka teams. There is a second player that can hit the clutch shot, which means it's not on Luka to do every last possession, right? And that's where guys like PJ Washington can be the hero for a game because they do so much heavy lifting during the game that there's a gravitational pull that makes their teammates' lives easier. And it will be a good series. It will be a good series. The only thing that would rob us of a good series will be Luka's health. He was a bit up and down in the OKC series, and you are going against a Minnesota team that's pretty stoic right now. They look like probably the healthiest team. I think that's a fair assessment. Maybe Indiana giving them a run for their money. But it's going to be exciting. I think it's exciting the fact that we get to crown a new champion. Not that I hate dynasties or back-to-back champions, but I think a new young player getting one on their thing. Is this the start of Luka's dynasty? Is this Ant turning into Michael Jordan 2.0? And he's about to be the talking point for the next couple
I think
of
I want to
years.
raise